Classification. Classification is identifying to which category a new observation belongs on the basis of a set of data containing observations whose category is already known. It is a supervised learning model, as we have seen earlier. So we'll look at some use cases which will give you a better idea of what exactly classification is. So you have a large number of mails which you already know which are spam and which are ham. Ham meaning the regular mails, the not spam ones. Okay, based on this, you build a model that classifies new mails into spam or ham. So this is the same technology that you see in your Gmail, where certain mails are automatically sent into the spam folder. You can identify if a transaction is fraudulent or not based on certain transaction patterns. You can determine if a patient has cancer or not. This is another good use case in the medical field. So it generally takes a long time to complete this kind of test like cancer test for the lab results to come out to determine the presence of cancer. So in the event of a huge backlog of cases, it takes a very long time to get the results. So this is where machine learning can help. If you have the complete data of a patient, you can study if there is a pattern or a set of variables which influence the presence of cancer. Based on this, we can predict the possibility of cancer for future patients. So I would recommend you to go to UCI Machine Learning Repository. I'll repeat, UCI Machine Learning Repository, which is the go-to website for machine learning datasets. So there you can check out the breast cancer dataset available there. So there will be some 30 odd parameters related to tissue measurements, which may contribute to the presence or absence of cancer. So while you are there, you can check out various datasets available there. Let us get into how we go about the classification. So these are the steps to be followed. It's broadly classified into 6 general steps. The first one would be data collection. So you would need to identify the right predictor variables or independent variables. And you should ensure that you have sufficient data with reasonable quality. The next step is data preparation. So we have quite a few steps or actions to be taken as a part of this data preparation. Okay, we'll look at it one by one. So the first one, handling missing data. So how to handle missing data? This technique of handling missing data is called imputation, meaning you give some value in place of the missing data. So these are some of the ways to give an appropriate value or do the imputation. Okay, the most simplest way is to delete the record which has some data missing. But this is not very feasible when there are a large number of records with missing data. Next, there is something called zero imputation, where you replace all missing values by zeros. There is something called mean imputation, where you replace missing values by mean of that attribute. Another technique where you can impute values based on other variables. Say for example, if a dataset contains salary, experience and occupation among other values. So in case of missing values for salary, they can be roughly estimated by taking the mean salary for similar experience and occupation in this area. So somebody working in the same field and having almost same experience is expected to receive almost the same salary. So that is the assumption we make to do this kind of imputation. Regression imputation. So where a variable with missing value is treated as a dependent variable and other variables except the decision attribute will be treated as an independent variable and regression is run on them. So you will see this regression concept later, but what you essentially do is you sort of predict the missing value using the other variables. That is called regression imputation. KNN imputation is also a similar technique where the nearest neighbors are identified and missing values predicted. So KNN is a classification technique which we will see shortly. So here the thing is like you are going to use a classification technique to impute missing values and then perform the classification. So these are our major ways by which we do some imputation. The next one, handling outliers. So outliers are extreme values that deviate from other observations. We generally use box plot or interquartile range to determine outliers. So please look up interquartile range if you are not aware of this. Other technique is the Z-score, which we have seen earlier, can be used to remove outliers. Any value falling outside 3 standard deviations can be treated as an outlier. So please note that not all models require outlier removal. So some models are not sensitive to outliers, while some are sensitive. Okay, the next one is scaling. When the input variables are of a different scale, one with a higher scale will have a larger influence on the output when the prediction is based on distance calculation. In such cases, all variables have to be brought to same scale before training the model. There are two ways of scaling. Min-max normalization, where the scaled value is given by this formula. The new value of x is x minus min of x by max of x minus min of x. So if you convert all x values using this formula, you will find that all the converted values fall between the range of 0 and 1. The next scaling technique is Z-score, where each value of x is converted to its scaled value by using the formula x minus mean of x by standard deviation of x. So once you have done this, you will find that all variables fall in the same range or same scale. Another thing you may need to do is categorical data may need to be converted to numeric data for some algorithms. This process is called dummy coding. Again, you will have to decide whether to do this or not based on the algorithm you choose. The next step in classification is splitting the data into training and test data sets. So generally, the data is split into 80% training and 20% test data set, where 80% of the data is used for training the model and 20% is used to test the model to check how the model performs on unseen data. So there could be cases where a model performs well on the training data, but fares very poorly on the test data. So this is called overfitting. We'll generally have to choose a model that performs best on test data. So overfitting refers to a model that models the training data too well. So that is a problem. It does its job too well. That is a problem. Meaning overfitting happens when a model learns the details and noise in the training data to an extent that negatively impacts the performance of the model on new data. So there are some outliers, there are some random noises in the training data. Any noise or random fluctuation in the training data is picked up and it is learned as a concept by the model. And this is called overfitting. The next step we do is choose the model. So there are quite a few classification models. You can choose the right model for your problem statement based on certain criteria. So we learn about a few classification techniques and which one would be more suitable for which scenario. Next step is train the model. So perform the model training using the training data set. So once you have the model, you evaluate the model performance. So this evaluation you will do both on training and test data set. Next, there are a few ways where you can improve the model performance, which we shall see about in some time. Now let's look at some major classification algorithms. So these are a few major ones: KNN, logistic regression, decision tree, random forest, naive Bayes, LDA, SVM, neural networks, etc. So we shall not be going into detail of all models. We'll just be focusing on k nearest neighbors, decision tree and random forest in detail in this tutorial.